Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
And it's Tuesday and we're live. Welcome to another Weird Horror Show. I'm Kevin, and as always, I'm joined by Tony has 9 fingers.
What is going on, people?
And twice a month, we're joined by the 13th Wolfman.
Oh, everybody.
Oh, indeed. And again, we're joined by friend of the show. I'm trying to think of something else funny to say. I can't think of anything. Angel from that strange show.
What's up? What's up, guys?
Yeah, you know, living the dream. You know,
living the dreams.
Yes, we've some of us have been going through some stuff, myself included, medical things, spending time in the hospital. I don't know if I told you.
May's gone, thank God.
Yeah. So I was in the hospital for 5 days due to I believe it's called a Guillain-Barré syndrome. Where
GBS.
Yeah, where it's my immune system attacked my nervous system as a reaction to the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. So it's not the vaccine. It wasn't the vaccine that did it. It was my immune system that did it. Yeah. It's just like, I don't know what to do. So, hey, I'm going to make your face stop working.
Yeah. And you sent me a picture and I was like,
yeah. And you thought I was joking around.
Yeah, I thought you were fucking around. You were like, I got a room with a view, and you're like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, nice. So then a couple of days later, you're like, no, that was me smiling.
Yeah.
And I was dealing with an infection the week after that. So I mean,
yeah,
that's where we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Yeah, and Leo, from the show and from the network, he was in the hospital. He just got out today. He had an issue with his heart. I mean, he had to shock it a couple times.
According to what he posted on his Facebook, he went to bed without putting his CPAP on, and he thinks he might have stopped breathing, which caused his heart to go into non-traditional rhythm.
Yeah, like an AFib.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and, he was off beat.
Yeah. I was going to make a really bad joke when I was messaging back and forth, being like, well, you really are white. You have to shock me to get back on rhythm. Jeez.
Yeah.
But I'm just glad that he's doing better and he's out of the hospital. And,
and you guys too, man. Because,
it was so here's the scariest part is I talked to my insurance company and he guessed on what the cost of the hospital.
You said it right. The hotel.
Well, so I've already been charged about $800 worth of for 2 tests. Even in mind, they did 48 blood tests.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. I mean, are we including the 48 blood tests?
The 48 blood tests. I almost said it again. The hospital stay and the food. So 5 days of that. What do you think? Give me an estimate of what you think it might be.
$125,000.
Did I already tell you?
No.
Okay, it's 124,000. So,
woo! Yeah. I win.
Wow. I was going to say 35G, but
I was going to say like 50.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, so what does that mean? They're like, well, we're not sure yet on what's covered. I'm like, it better all be covered because I don't have $124,000. You can have my house. It's not worth that anymore.
We're doing they're writing off student loans. Just throw it on.
No doubt. That whole college just wrote off like an entire 2 years graduating classes.
Well, I'm going to say, I did learn something. So technically, it's like college, and not to mention too, it was at UMass.
I'm a student of life.
Yeah, UMass Worcester, which is a teaching hospital. Yeah. So all these people that were doing tests and digging their knuckles in my back to do failed spinal taps, by the way.
Great movie though.
Yeah, failed spinal tap. It was just the first attempt at it. They were all students, so technically I contributed to their education.
Thank you. We thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you know, up here in Washington, at one of the, I used to go to one of the teaching schools up here, our teaching hospitals up here, and you know, for regular checkups. And there's, I mean, honestly, the teaching schools have a, I mean, you might be able to look into being able to write some of this stuff off. I mean, just by going through their accounting, you know, and
they haven't given me any kind of answer as far as what they're covering, but you know, I can't imagine that they're going to be charging me $124,000.
You're like, fuck it. You better get another room ready because this paper's going to put me in there.
Yep. Anyways, enough about that. Let's get into horror news, right? That's what we're here for.
Yes.
Right. So
number one movie over the weekend.
Over the weekend?
Yeah.
What was it? A Quiet Place 2?
Yep.
Oh,
it's not too hard to be the number one movie in theaters right now.
Dude, it cranked in close to 60 mil.
Cranked in close to $5 because it's the pandemic still. Wow. Yeah, that's one that I'm planning on going. So Sergio, yes, Leo is home now.
Leo is home. Send him a message.
Yeah. He and I told him that you were asking about him, Sergio. He's like, wow, he's a good guy. So there you go. Leo's aware. But yeah. So that's one that I'm planning on going to. That the cool thing is that it's playing at the budget theater in my area.
Yeah, they gotta get all the pennies they can. I'm assuming if you're out there, you're probably on every market available.
Still, I mean, I've read like 3 different reviews about this so far, and
what are they saying, Wolfie?
They're all good.
Oh, good.
They're all really good. I didn't know this, but so John Krasinski is not really in the sequel. He shows up in a few flashbacks, but basically from that point on, it's Emily Blunt and the children. You know, which is cool. John Krasinski, I watched an interview with him. He had no intention on making a sequel to A Quiet Place.
That's what I heard.
And yeah, he's like, well, he kind of looked at it like this was the first movie was a love story to his children, you know, and he's like, that's it. He goes, I made this movie that dealt with a guy dealing with children, and I wanted to make a love story. He goes, how do you make a better movie than that?
Yeah.
And so when they came to him and said, do you want to do it? He goes, I don't know. He goes, I'm not sure what to do. And then he sat down and like 12 days straight, he wrote out a script. And he's like, okay, I got a really cool idea. And he went to his wife, Emily Blunt, and said, well, I want you to read the script. And she goes, I'm not doing it though. He goes, that I'm just telling you straight up right now. I'm not scheduled to do this movie. I'm not going to be in it. So he goes, oh no, just read it and tell me what you think. I just want your opinion. And so she reads like the first 2 pages. She goes, so I guess I'm doing the movie now.
See, that's the one thing with like these big studios. Like it's annoying where it's like sometimes they force sequels. Like, you know, some of these people, they don't, like you were saying, he probably didn't want to do it. And then they force it when it's not needed. I mean, I'm sure with the good reviews, and to tell you the truth, I was going into the first one, like, I don't want to say skeptical, but I didn't have like over the top hopes, and I really liked it. So when, you know, I saw the trailer for it, that was one of the movies last year that I was, you know, definitely looking forward to, and then it never happened. Yeah, but it's one of those things where sometimes it's just like, come on now. Then the movie comes out and you're like, they shouldn't have made it. And then behind the scenes, you find out that they didn't want to make it. It was just the fact that, you know, if it's pitched to one person, they don't want to make it, they'll pitch it to another person. And so.
Maybe, I like I said, he said he wasn't really excited about, you know, that wasn't really the thought, but maybe he found a way to write another love letter to his kids. You know, maybe. I mean, maybe something to, maybe
they still need to be quiet. Maybe that's what it is.
Shut up.
You guys really need to keep shutting up.
Dude,
Shut up, part
I'm
2.
with Tony though. I'm with Tony though. When that trailer came out last year, I was like, oh my God. this is going to be this is one of the big ones I want to see, you know. And then they're like, and all of a sudden COVID hit, and they're like, okay, you know, we're closing up. You guys can we're taking our ball and going home, and don't know if you'll ever see this movie again.
I think I saw like an article. I didn't read it, but about was it about the director of The Exorcist saying something about too?
Yeah.
Anyone read it? Because I'm just
I kind of glommed over it. Yeah, but he dug it. He's
nice.
Yeah. It's one of those things, man. I mean, it's just.
I heard that since they had more time, they went and they shot newer scenes for it. I'm not 100% sure which ones, but I think the ones involving John, I think they built the flashback for because they had more time because of the shutdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll probably be the first newer movie I go see in the theater.
Sure. I definitely want to check it out. I love the first one. I'm definitely excited to see what they do. Cillian Murphy's in it too. Great actor. I like him a lot.
So yeah, I was planning on going this past weekend, and then my wife's like, "But I want to see it." I'm like, "All right, do you want to go?" And she's just like, "No," because she went camping this past weekend. For those who don't
live bad weather.
Yeah, for those who don't live in this part of the country, or in Massachusetts, it was like in the 40s and it was raining all weekend.
Yeah, it was fucking bullshit.
That's awesome.
No, it's not. She went on Friday, came home Sunday, and then spent pretty much the whole day in bed yesterday because she's like, it's just so warm. It's warm in here. This is great. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna die. But,
now you had a little cuddler keeping you warm.
Yeah.
taking up 90% of the bed.
Yeah. I have a king size bed and I was sleeping on the edge because the cat just wouldn't move.
He couldn't roll back, so if you did.
Yeah, if I rolled back, I would kill her. But yeah, so Quiet Place 2, gonna be seeing that hopefully sooner than later. Yeah, like legit, there's one theater I can go to that if I got 2 tickets, one for me and one for my wife, it would be like $32. There's another one that if I go to, it would cost me like $10. So
is the drive-in near you showing it?
Yeah, I think so. Well, not in Leicester. Leicester's drive-in isn't open yet. Mendon, I believe, is.
Mendon is open.
I believe so. Yeah. They definitely are because the weekend that I ended up being in the hospital, we were supposed to go to A Nightmare on Elm Street, with like horror trivia that weekend. Yeah. Whoops. But anyways,
except you got a villa at the Amherst.
You got a villa
at the UMass.
Yeah. Yes, I'll have the cream of wheat, please. Thank you.
Do you have any gray poupon?
No sugar.
No, there's gray poop on that guy.
Why, of course.
Yeah, there's a couple things I wanted to bring up. One of them is a movie that we've all seen that has been kind of getting mixed reviews. That's available on the Netflix right now. That's Army of the Dead. Wolfie and I just reviewed it on Wicked Horror Reviews. That's not up yet. I figured I would wait and maybe put it up after this so that way. But even though,
we just covered it. So that it won't be out for another week or so. 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we should give if we're going to go deep into it, we should be a disclaimer that.
Well, I don't think we should go that deep.
We can't. I mean, it's a zombie film. It's not really a spoiler,
Well, I mean, there is some things. I mean, we talked.
Okay,
about,
all right. So to simplify it, who liked it? Who didn't like it? Who didn't like it?
I didn't.
Halfway up.
I must say that hearing like mostly bad reviews about it, I went into it not expecting much. And the thing with it is, I think if they cut it by like a half an hour
easily,
then I think it would have been that much better because they had so much stuff that could have. Like there was one scene that I thought was really cool, like the tiger scene. That if they cut it in half, it would have been a little bit better of a scene. Like it was cool, but I'm like, this is going on for a little bit too long.
This was Zack Snyder's The Revenant.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I got it. I understand. Okay. And it just kept going. That scene was cool. But then there was I was just like, do we really need this part? So if they cut it by like a half an hour, I think it would have been a better movie.
I 100% agree with that. I'm with Tony on board. When Kevin and I did our ratings on it, out of 10, I gave it a 6. I'm like, it's above average, but it's not that much above average, and it's way too long. The scene that bugged me, and I like that you brought up the tiger thing, Tony, but the scene that bugged me was there was a scene where, please, Kev, what was her name again? The comedian?
Oh, Tig Notaro.
Tig Notaro. They're just getting in there, and she's talking about who the most important people are in the lineup. She's like, okay, the German guy is number 1. That makes me number 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay. And then she goes down the list. And then he says, okay, well, go do your job. Go take care of the escape plan, right? And the next scene you see is her fueling up the vehicle while smoking. And I'm like, we just heard that you were that. It's like the dumbest scene that doesn't need to be there. I mean, we don't need to know, ooh, she's a badass that smokes around fuel, We just, it just dumb. I was like that. Brother Max over at the one and only MSJ says he had fun watching the Army of the Dead.
Mm-hmm. I mean, so I gave it a 5. If it was shorter, I would have liked it a little bit more. I think that I was complaining about what they did with the zombies, but then again, too, I was glad that they did something different.
Exactly.
Yeah. I actually liked the plot to it. Like, I thought that was, a different take. I think in my head I've seen something else almost like it, but I can't put my finger on it.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely had like a different feel to it, because at that point in time it's like, okay, most of the time you're dealing with like lumbering zombies that just walk around. This one has a little bit more of a
and then the whole
feel to
hibernation
it.
thing, and like I said, it felt like more like almost like demons than zombies, like it, because they were, I don't know, it just seemed like something different than zombies, but it's not a bad thing.
But you also brought up the fact that it felt a little bit like a vampire thing.
Yeah.
And,
so yeah, Max is saying my biggest problem was the rescue subplot could have been left out completely.
That's true.
I don't disagree. So the whole Tig Notaro thing, I knew something about it, but I didn't realize who she replaced in the movie.
Crystalia.
Crystalia.
He got canceled.
Yeah, he got canceled because of all the.
But he's back now because.
Yeah. But so yeah, Tig Notaro didn't actually meet anyone on, like, in the cast. She doesn't know anybody in the cast. She did everything on green screen, and they just made everything super blurry behind her, which was noticeable.
There was green screen, and there was some backlot stuff that they did on some stuff that was still up.
The stuff that like that she was, in the same scenes with some of these people. It was pretty noticeable that they were just making everything blurry, which was a little weird. I thought she was okay, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't think her character was that great.
Yeah, I enjoyed the shit out of it. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I liked a lot of the new zombie designs, the hierarchy, the full sci-fi insertion that they went with. Like, because there's a lot of layers to the movie. Could it have been shorter? Sure, okay, that could be an argument. But then there's like the daughter thing. And some scenes like you mentioned, like, sure, but then we're just shaving off seconds. You know what I mean? I don't know. I can never. How am I going to say like how long the movie should be? Like, that's how they.
No, but I get what you're saying, Angel. But I mean, honestly, how many of all the horror movies that you've seen in your lifetime? And I'm talking all you guys. How many of them that are really over 2 hours? I mean. There's a handful that are over 2 hours, but the really good ones are under.
Yeah.
And they get that 3-part act in there. It's like, okay, assemble, get there and deal with what you have to do. And that's the 3-part act. Here it's like, get the characters together. Maybe got the saving subplot, and it just seemed like they could have tightened it up. I think.
Yeah, I think to me at least, I just feel like this wasn't just a straight up zombie / horror movie. I felt like it was more of a superhero themed, like fantasy world thing, built around it, and then they had horror elements as a thing. Because I mean, there's a lot of stuff where you're like, what the fuck was that? And then I watched the movie and looked some stuff up, and there's like world building that still hasn't even been explained because there's a cartoon coming, there's another subplot movie or some kind of series coming too. So there's like a whole world build. Because I mean, the movie starts off, there's already been encounters with these things. They know what they're doing.
They got the alpha cage.
Yeah, they got, so there's already been a government involvement. There's already been renegade involvement, hired guns type of deal. And then now this is just another little microcosm that they're showing us in that world that is still being built. So like, I get some of the arguments, but like, and like the slow zombie, smart zombie thing, I just feel like, in a fantasy world, like I feel like anything could happen. You know what I mean? So like,
right.
I don't see like a huge arguing about it.
Yeah, I feel like a hypocrite because I was like, I don't like what they did with the zombies, but then again, I was like, I respect what they did with the zombies because it's like they're not the typical like, and they're following some of the like I brought up in our review is that it seems like they're almost like following some of the same tropes as a vampire in this one, like
right.
I mean, there's a huge. I won't spoil it, for those who haven't seen it yet. But like, there's a huge world that they're trying to build inside of this, and there's so many like spider webs attached to the Olympus Tower. You know what I mean? That like, I just felt like there's so much to be told still, and I hope that he can expand on that because to me, I feel like this is a fresher take on the zombie genre. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe he should have calmed down a bit.
And I love the way it was shot.
That's the thing is it looks great. I thought everyone acted their balls off.
Yeah.
I thought there's a lot to like about this one, but it was way too slow at a lot of points.
Yeah, there was some lows. I do agree with that.
Right.
But like, I felt like, and to go back, I hated the daughter 100%. I felt like if you,
there's a lot of people that have a lot of hate for the daughter. I
just felt like it was okay, if you hate your dad that much for what happened during the most fucked up time of your life that you can't even call him dad at that instant, like, why are you even trying to attach yourself? Like, go off on your own thing. You get what I'm saying?
Go off on her own thing, and now they got back together.
Yeah.
Years later,
but, sure, but because we all know what happened, but But that was the other thing, because like you said, they were drawing out some other scenes, but then some was like quick, like someone reveals like some secret they've been harboring, and then boop, they're gone, and it's like, well, what the fuck? Like, you didn't even let that breathe. So I get what you're saying, Wolfie, about with the unnecessary like smoking, like but that's her character, because like she was abrasive and like didn't give a fuck. She was like, I don't care, pay me.
I got that, but I mean, it just seemed kind of, to me, it seemed like a very dumb choice.
I think they should have, if they were Xing out Crystalia's character, I felt like, sure, they needed a helicopter pilot, but I felt like in that world anybody could have flown it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I felt like him wasting that time and adding that, and because it costs, he said that was one of the most expensive parts of making the movie, was replacing Crystalia digitally. And
I will say this though, man, Batista is becoming one of my favorite, non-traditional actors. Because he started out in the WWE, and then like I think the first thing he really did outside of that was he was in one of the Bond films.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think he was in Casino Royale.
I don't remember.
But then you look at it, it's going to like the bringing wrestling a little bit in it. They're pretty much playing a character 100% of the time.
I know that.
I mean, you look at the transition from like even The Rock and John Cena. Like John Cena is The Rock is The Rock, one of the highest paid actors, now, but then you get John Cena, who's actually pretty funny, and now doing that transition.
Right,
so now,
and now he's canceled.
Is he?
is he?
Yeah, look it up. I'm not even gonna get into it.
Not
Really?
but not
Was it
every
because of
not
jean shorts?
Probably can't see him though.
not every wrestler that wants to be an actor is a good actor.
No.
I mean, for every Rock and every Batista, you have a Miz. You know, you have a Randy Orton.
Which
Yeah, but
Miz is supposedly Mortal Kombat 2.
Well, you have
Yeah, but the thing is, the movies that they acted in were the like WWE movies. So I don't think they were supposed to be made to be like they were in the Marine and whatever. Like if they branch out into something different, I think you might see a little bit different because I mean, even back in the day, like I can't say Hulk Hogan because I mean
Suburban Commando, bro?
I mean those are I look at them as like childhood favorites, but I go back and I look and I'm like, this is a horrible fucking movie, but I love it. But then you get like Roddy Piper, who was in
Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Hell Comes to Frogtown, and what's it called? They Live. So it's I mean, again, not the greatest of movies, but they played a good character. Like I could say that the characters that they portrayed were good. So I think they got a leg up on some, like just starting in the business. Like if you say a transition, I'm like I think they had a leg
I just
up.
think Batista has. I think out of a lot of the ones that have come out of the WWE, that Batista is like the one that's really, I mean, aside from The Rock, I mean that's just a given. But but because he's very charismatic, and I think that's what sells. It's more his charisma than But with Batista, it's just he seems like a natural at the acting thing, whether he's playing Drax or, he's in this movie. I'm always looking forward to whatever he puts out. I think
Max had brought up that he's in the newer Blade Runner.
He is,
but I haven't watched it. I don't know.
It's a very small role in it.
Yeah, but still, then one thing too is like one thing I think is cool is that you talk about
yes, he was awesome in that. Yeah,
you go from like people like The Rock and people like Batista, like that are the big guys, and even people that are pretty big in their own right, like CM Punk, but he does a lot of like cool horror stuff. Like,
the girl in the third floor.
Yeah.
I thought that movie was okay, pretty good.
We just watched a movie the following week. Kevin and I watched the movie and reviewed it, and I'm like, oh yeah. And CM Punk was the deputy, and he goes, he was?
I didn't even realize.
Jacob's wife.
Yeah,
yep. You didn't realize it was him.
Yeah, I didn't either till right at the end there
when
the credit came up.
no, legit. When the credits came up
until
like CM Punk.
What movie is it?
Jacob's wife.
It's a new Barbara Crampton movie.
Yeah, awesome movie. Go check it out.
Yep, it's good times. It's another Shudder original that so it's not on Shudder yet, but it's going to Shudder.
Yeah.
They're doing like they did with Psycho Gorman. They're doing like digital release, then a physical release, and it's going to be on Shudder. I kind of like that they're doing that. I think it's cool. It makes it even though the movies are really good, it almost makes it feel almost more legit. Yeah.
Right. But it's also probably driving people to Shudder. Because if you don't get the physical release, but you get the digital, and then they're like, "Oh, well, now it's going to be streaming here. Why not stream Shudder? Why not get Shudder?" So
and then
it's like
you can look at it the other way as well. If you wait for it to hit Shudder, then it's already on physical. You're like, "Oh my god, Psycho Gorman is ridiculous. I need to have this on."
Yeah. Right.
There's one on there. There's one on Shudder right now. I've been dying to check out since
the masked one.
No, the Fried Berry.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, it's on there. Check it out.
Okay. What's it called?
Fried Berry.
Fried Berry. Okay.
Yeah.
Fried Berry.
All right. We'll add that to the list, Wolfie.
Yeah. No. Okay.
Hurry up. So there's one thing I wanted to bring up.
So Army of the Dead. 10-10.
What do you mean 10-10?
10 out of 10.
Oh, okay. Tony, if you had to give it a rating, what would you give it?
I give it a 7 because I think the thing that made it a little bit more for me is something that we've said many a times is character development. I think that's because there was it was. I cared if certain people died, and I wanted to see other people die.
Mhm.
And it's like, okay, that's what I'm driving. So with the character development, sometimes it was just a little bit too long, in my opinion. But at least they had, characters. It was different. So.
Okay.
I give it a 7.
I'm
So
still
Angel-
sticking with a 5.
Yeah,
Just saying.
I'm
No,
still
that's fine.
sticking with the 6. So 5,
Yeah,
6,
I'll
7,
do-
10.
Yeah.
You know,
And then we just realized Wolfie doesn't know how to count. So
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Great.
5, 6, 7, 10.
11, 12, 13.
There you go.
So there was an announcement recently about another Evil Dead reboot coming to HBO Max.
Yeah, Rises or some shit. Dead
Yeah.
Rises.
So what do you like? So I don't know if Wolfie, if you're even aware of it, but
They're
there's
teaming back up, right? Executive produce and all that.
That's supposed to be shot in Australia.
yeah, but as Campbell is retired from his Ash Williams character, so he's not going to be in it.
Nah, but I think he's.
No, it's going to be produced by him.
Yeah.
But still. Do you think that that's a good move? Do you think that it's considering that he's the face of it? Do you think that it's a smart move to have him be retired completely as that character?
I think as far as Bruce Campbell goes and Evil Dead goes, I think they wrung that sponge as much as they could. I mean, they got.
I kind of want another release from Arrow.
They got 3. They got 3 good movies out of it. They
TV show,
and they got the
Good
TV
movie.
show.
Yeah.
I mean, what else? I think it's time to pass the torch.
I think they got 4 good movies out of it. Personally.
4?
Well, yeah, the reboot. First reboot.
Drag Me to Hell.
Yeah, no, but I'm just talking.
Like that
You're
too.
right. No, you're right. The reboot was good, but I was just thinking personally of the ones where Bruce Campbell's the main focus.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think it's time to pass the torch. Evil Dead next gen type of thing.
Yeah, the black arts belong to the streets, man. Like pass it, pass it off.
Yeah.
So do we know, is this going to be a series or is this going to be
It's supposed to be a movie.
So it's the female protagonist is Alyssa Sutherland from The Mist and Vikings. I don't know who she is.
Name doesn't sound familiar at this point.
I got nothing.
It's probably the young girl.
And Lily Sullivan, Panic at Hanging Rock and Jungle.
Okay.
Sisters.
Look, that I'm on board with her. Panic at Hanging Rock was a freaking cool movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sorry, I have a
Yeah.
You need a lozenge.
I have a whatchamacallit, a Gillian Beret in my throat.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Boom, douche.
And another thing too is that this isn't going to be taking place in a cabin. It's going to be in an urban setting.
Well, I mean, Vampires versus the Bronx is pretty cool.
And Leprechaun goes to the hood.
The original Candyman.
Yeah, Candyman.
Also, you can kind of. I mean, Ash versus Evil Dead wasn't necessarily in a cabin.
No.
I mean, it goes back to the same thing. Like, yeah, sure, why not? Let's see it, and then we could decide whether we want to fucking hype it up or not.
Yeah,
right. I get like speculation, but like writing off things on speculation, I don't. I gotta at least see it. Tell me how to, show me what you do.
That all depends on whether or not there's because everyone's got that one actor that they just don't like, and they're like, oh, but this person's you know what, I'm not going to see it. Screw it.
Yeah.
and then that movie's awesome 10 months later when they watch it.
Yeah, Wolfie like Ghostbusters with the female reboot.
Yeah, anything Ron Perlman's in.
Oh, Ron Perlman and Nicolas Cage are teaming up.
Oh, really? It's going to be called Mediocrity? So
I said, who's the bigger asshole?
They already did team up. Season of the Witch.
No, I'm saying it again.
Yeah, that movie was horrible.
Who is who has the
no, Halloween 3 was awesome, bro. Relax.
Halloween 3 was awesome.
I agree 100%. It's my favorite of the year.
Tony just said it sucked.
Season of the Witch.
No, he said Season of the Witch. Not Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Yeah.
He's talking about
Did you guys see the Willy's Wonderland with speaking of Nicolas Cage?
Or not speaking of Nicolas Cage, am I right, guys? No, I haven't seen it.
But douche.
I've been meaning to. I just haven't.
It's a fun one.
Yeah.
It has a very. I don't know if you saw Banana Splits movie.
I didn't.
I refuse to watch that because that's not the Banana Splits.
La la la.
No.
But anyway, it has that kind of vibe to it, where it's like evil animatronics. I thought it was, I liked it a lot, and the fact that Nicolas Cage speaks not one word in the damn movie.
That being said, for as much as I am not a fan of Nicolas Cage, I actually really do like some Nicolas Cage movies.
Yeah.
Generally, I mean, Raising Arizona is one of my favorite Coen Brothers movies.
Oh, that's a good one.
Con Air.
I never watched Con Air. Maybe I would like it, but I thought Mandy was great. I thought, was it Color Out of Space? I thought was awesome.
Color Out of Space. Family Man was it's an awesome Christmas movie.
Mom and Dad.
Wild at Heart.
Yeah, Wild at Heart.
Wasn't he in some Elvis movie?
No, he was in Leaving Las Vegas.
Yeah, where he played like an Elvis impersonator or something. No,
I don't think so.
I heard it was very depressing.
It could happen to you where he's.
Why have we seen that? Why?
You could be an Elvis.
You could be an Elvis impersonator in Vegas. You have the hair. That's my beard. It's my beard, Wolfie.
I didn't say anything.
Get with the program, Wolfie.
But you were saying that I like. I mean, yeah. Let's see it. Let's see it. Evil Dead. Let's do it on HBO. Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay. I'll wait. No, yeah. I like the fact that they're doing it. The fact that Sam Raimi signs off on it and Bruce Campbell is executive producer makes me feel better about it.
I only ask one thing. Mm-hmm. I love the remake. The only thing that bugged me about the remake, and Kevin's heard me say this way too many times, so I'm sorry you have to hear it again.
I don't remember, so this is going to be new to me.
It's the scene where the long-haired dude is looking at the book, and it's rolled up and barbed wire, and it's locked shut, and all that. Dude, you see a book that's like this bandaged and barbed up and chained. Leave it alone.
Then Wolfie. then we don't get a movie.
Yeah. Then we get a short.
Well, remember though, in the original movie, they didn't really read from the book. They played the tape.
Yeah.
And that was, I'm just saying, no one says you have to go over there and mess with that book.
Yeah. That's true. Just go on audible.com.
Yeah.
Exactly. You can find a translation somewhere.
Well, but then I guess talking about like another remake and everything and a reboot. I mean, you look at all like the major, horror franchises. How many different reboots and remakes and retellings? And I mean, I'm not saying it's right, but nowadays it's like I think that they're talking about another Friday the 13th and another. I mean,
well, we need at least one more Friday the 13th.
What was that?
We need at least one more Friday the 13th. That way there will be 13 films.
Yep.
Oh, snap. Plus, there's all this. I mean, there's a lot that they were talking about before that because of the pandemic, I'm assuming, are on the back burner. But they were supposed to do the Candyman reboot.
Yeah, that comes out in July.
That's coming. Yeah.
I haven't seen anything about it. So
yeah, it was in the newspaper. Yes, Sunday. They had a list of all the stuff.
You read the newspaper?
Yes, I read the newspaper.
Wow.
I believe.
Him and my dad. If you go down to his bedroom, it's like hoarders. It's like a maze. In order to get
my dad. Yes, we're the two people in the world that are reading newspapers.
You and my dad. My dad is the only person that gets delivery in this whole state.
So he's got his own newspaper boy. It just comes just for him.
My dad gets a quarter.
Kevin just goes out, buys a newspaper, says, "Here you go, Dad."
I don't get that kind of money.
It's like two quarters.
Newspapers? Come on. The Sunday paper alone is like what? $47? I don't know.
For the season.
I'm just kidding. I mean, it costs a lot of money to print up those ads that no one looks at for these stores that no one shops at. Because you should put a giant ad for Amazon in the Sunday newspaper.
Okay. Now I have a question for Wolfie because just over over this past weekend they had the halfway to Black Friday sale for Vinegar Syndrome.
Yeah.
So, did you pick up anything? Well, I'm sure you did.
I did. I grabbed. I got 6 items. One's a box set, and then 5 titles. And what about yourself, Tony?
This time I went a little bit harder than I expected to.
Oh wow!
Just because at this point, the reason too is I guess it's in my collector's nature now that a lot of Vinegar Syndrome titles seem to be bumping up in price. So it's like I'd rather now get it rather than paying, especially like on the whatever the
dark web.
I was about to say the black market for some reason, but they're like
black market,
they're like third way sellers and stuff. They jack up the price so much that I'm like, because the one, the Angel box set, I wanted it for so long, and then they for some reason I guess found a few more copies, so I got it for close to regular price.
Good for you.
But then at that point in time, now it's like hundreds of dollars. So I'm like, let me get this stuff now, just so I can have it. So I spent a couple hundred. I think I got like 12 titles or something like that, and 3 of them were the box sets. So
you hit that stimmy hard, bro.
Was one of the box sets any of the Giallo stuff?
That no, just because I didn't know too much about them.
Oh, okay.
Well, there's a lot of Vinegar Syndrome movies that I don't know anything about. I mean, what's the one cool thing about them, I think.
Yeah, it would actually, to tell you, I think only 3 of the titles I think I've ever heard of.
Did you buy
Dolly Dearest? What?
Did you buy Psychos in Love?
No.
Damn it.
Bitch.
Did you say you bought Dolly Dearest?
I've had Dolly Dearest, yeah. Dolly Dearest, Tammy and the T-Rex, Rad, and Fear were the only ones that I think I've heard of before that I bought.
Yeah.
And then everything else was like, I look at when they have the little like slideshows and stuff, I look at the stills and I'm like, okay, this one seems, pretty interesting or up my alley, and then I purchase it from there.
Food? Dessert?
Banana.
No,
we had just real quick. We had a little get together at Bill's house over the weekend, and he kept yelling food, dessert to our friend. Then when he left, he called him, and as soon as he was going to say food, dessert, as soon as Dave picked up the phone, but Dave said it.
Yeah.
And then other people called food, dessert. That was all. Bill wanted to the show. Good job, Will.
No, so I picked up a few titles. I picked up one box set, and one of the really weird because I was actually talking to Brother Max, like during the whole halfway to Black Friday sale. Asked him if he got anything. He's like, no, and I'm like, what? He goes, what'd you get? And I told him the titles, and I'm not saying what they are right now because I'm gonna unveil them on my channel.
I was wondering, come with it, Wolfie. Tell me what you got.
No, it turns out one of the titles I bought. I mean, at the time, it had like over 1,000. You know when you go there, it says over 1,000 copies. I'm like, okay, cool, I'll grab that. And he says, well, that title is completely sold out now. I'm like, seriously? This is like one of the time I didn't expect it to sell out.
Oh damn, it's shut down. I can't even buy nothing now.
Oh yeah. So was Psychos in Love available at the time?
I think so, and I think I forgot to get it.
Well, I'm hoping that one sells out. So Psychos in Love. There's a friend of the show, Carmine Capabianco, who passed recently. Very, very long battle with cancer. That was his thing. Like he made Was in Love, and it's a funny, wacky movie. And I grabbed it from Vinegar Syndrome not that long ago, and because I had never seen it. Like he'd always talked about it and stuff like that, and it's a good time. So
it is.
All right. I'll check it out.
Check it out. I believe it's on my Plex, Angel.
All right.
It's very wacky. He was a very, very, very funny man. Like very like I met him through James Balsamo. So like it was one of those things where they were.
He was in one of the movies with James, and then James brought him on to the show years ago, and and he's just
we met him at Leo and I met him at a con, and we'd only talked once before, and it was like running into a family member. He was a good dude. But yeah, so go.
Psycho's in Love. Yeah,
Psycho's in Love, and I mean, I don't know the deal, but I'm hoping that some of the money goes towards the family.
I should hope so.
Yeah. But now that I brought everything down, I apologize, guys.
No, R.I.P.
Angel, do you ever partake in any of these like VS sales or sales? Or...
I have in the past. I didn't even. That's why when you guys started talking about it, I went and I was like, you need admin password, and they're like shut down. But no, like the last thing I bought from them was Tammy and the T-Rex when they did that release last year. Or the year was that last year? Yeah, last year.
I think it was the year before.
Was it that long ago?
It was early last year, I think.
Was it pre-pandemic?
It was before. It was before last. It was the year before, because last year the big thing was Rad.
Oh yeah. Rad was. Yeah, no, I missed out on that, but I got like the Roddy Piper movie, the Hell Comes to Frog.
The one that has that weird like cover of it.
Yeah, it's like
I missed out on that cover.
It's fucking awesome.
How is that movie?
Wacky. Yeah, there's a lot of frog dicks and shit.
Oh, nice. Max is saying that he did Tammy the T-Rex as well. Who's in that? Is that Whoopi Goldberg?
No, it's Denise Richards and
Paul Walker and Denise Richards. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and it's got if I'm not mistaken, the dude from Children of the Corn too. He's like the little guy doctor there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And no, my fault. That's not him. It's Weekend at Bernie's dude.
Oh,
Terry Kaiser.
The
guy that played Bernie. The guy he's from Friday the 13th Part 7. He played the psychoanalyst doctor.
Mm-hmm. Max did,
I think they might both be in it. I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. George Flowers, Sean Whalen was in it.
Yeah.
Sean. Yep. There it is.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember what I'm talking about? I used to see a cover.
Yeah, I know.
With Whoopi Goldberg and a dinosaur.
Yeah.
That was
jumping. It was not jump.
Jack Flash.
Jack Flash. He's a
Theodore Rex.
Yeah.
Theodore Rex was that one.
Something like that.
Theodore Rex.
Whenever I hear that title, I assumed it was a Whoopi Goldberg one. I'm like, why is everyone flipping out about this movie?
It's so good. Sister Act was great.
Oh my god, dude.
I do like the Sister Act movie.
I do actually. Yeah, I wasn't talking shit.
You mentioned Jumping Jack Flash. I actually like that movie as well.
Brother Max is like, he's telling us it's Theodore Rex. So.
Oh, there you go. Theodore Rex.
I actually have that on DVD.
I'm sure
them two standing next to each other and like
back to back, like a rom-com. Like,
that's pretty much what the cover is.
Yeah,
I think that's exactly what the cover is now.
The Olsen twins, back when they were doing all those little,
It takes
two. We're just bringing up Halloween Kills. That's the new one that's going to be coming out, right?
That's the new one, yeah.
Yeah.
Any idea? Anyone know when that's coming out?
Probably around Halloween, I'm sure.
I've heard a few things. Yeah.
It's a weird time to have that come out. Am I right, guys?
Thank you, Mr. Rickles.
Yeah.
Halloween.
But yeah, I don't know. So has there been anything else that you guys have seen? I know, like Wolfie, you stumble across a lot of stuff. Like you DVR like a bunch of random stuff.
I do.
Once in a while you come across some gold. But has there been anything that you guys have seen recently that you would recommend?
Becky was awesome. Just watched that. Coming up.
What is that?
Kevin James.
Yeah. I think his character was very interesting.
Yeah, Lulu Wilson. She was in Ouija board, that movie Ouija, and one of the Annabelle movies.
So it's a Kevin James horror movie.
Yeah.
It's
more of a thriller.
It's not horror.
It's more of a thriller than anything. It's like a cat and mouse like kind of deal.
If I had to liken it to anything, Last House on the Left vibes.
Okay.
Like a little bit of that.
You have it on your Plex, Kev.
Okay. Well, it may have been because my wife likes Kevin James.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. You just did the whole Kevin James.
Yep.
Yeah. And then so there was Becky. And Nobody was awesome. I don't know if you guys have seen that yet. Bob
Oh, I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Yeah, that was.
Which one's that?
Nobody with Bob Odenkirk.
So Bob Odenkirk, that people like a lot of people know from Better Call Saul, but
Mr. Show,
Bob and Dave, like a
SNL.
Mm-hmm.
Writers.
That's the one I was trying to tell you about 3 weeks ago that I couldn't think of the name of. I'm like, Bob Odenkirk's in this movie, and you know,
it's been on my Plex for a while.
That one's not horror at all. I mean, a lot of horrific things happen, but yeah, it's not.
And someone said it's weird to see Bob Odenkirk kind of ripped.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It wasn't that ripped.
Then thinking about
it, I think just him doing like badass shit was
cool. I mean, I can't think of anything that I would see Bob Odenkirk in without a shirt on. So who knows? That was never a time I would have to see Bob Odenkirk with like fighting or anything.
Yeah.
So I mean that's cool. I mean it's awesome. Like even like with the Kevin James thing, these guys are stepping out of their norm completely.
Yeah.
Even Better Call Saul, even though it's not a comedy,
it has comedic elements. Yeah,
exactly. But so I mean that's one I've been hearing a lot about. I just have to get around to watching it.
Oh, that one's on my radar. How is that?
Sacrifice. It has that like cultish feel, like a Midsummer /
a movie called Sacrifice has a cultish feel. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and listen, hard to believe. It's hard to believe.
Wolfie almost fell out of his chair right there, bro.
And then there's another one called For the Sake of Vicious, which is like a revenge type movie. These are both from the Dread Central Presents. Like that's another collection that I got. So these were the last two. Then there's La Casa was one of the last ones, and Sleepless Beauty, which is that one I have to rewatch because it got a little slow. But it's one of those things where they put this girl in a chair and kind of like keep her up for all these hours on end, seeing what the hell happens to someone that just
she hallucinates.
Exactly. So they say if you stay up a certain amount of time,
72 hours, 72 hours, and then you're considered clinically insane.
Mm-hmm. So that's what it's like them experimenting on this girl. So those were the last couple that were in. So that's another thing. Like Shudder has their originals and stuff, but a lot of the Dread Presents stuff that comes out is actually really good too.
All right, send me that list.
Yeah, I kind of want to check that out too. Yeah,
this is an older title. I finally got around to watching it. Elizabeth Harvest.
That was different. That
was a cool. It was very ex machina.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
But I mean, I don't want to say what it's really. Basically, Elizabeth Harvest is a young lady that lives with her uncle, and she's going through some things. And I mean, Tony, you can't really tell the whole story of this movie without giving it away, right?
Yeah, that's one of the things where you say one thing and it's just like, okay, well, now I know what to expect and whatever. It's one of those things where you got to watch it because the plot line is so different, but it's like, so I don't want to say simple at the same time, but it's one of those things where it's like you say a little bit too much, and then you got that's one of the is it IFC Midnight?
Yeah,
release IFC. It was a IFC Scream Fact. That's how I got it. Was through Scream Factory.
And if you like
Elizabeth Harvest.
If you liked Ex Machina,
I did.
Then I honestly believe that the two kind of like fall hand in hand. I think anyone that liked that movie would probably dig this movie. And a few years, was it last year? I think it was last year. Severin had a sale, and yeah, it was last year. They had a sale, and whenever anyone ordered anything, whether it was one title or 200 titles or whatever, they gave everybody a free copy of the French edition version of the English movie Jack the Ripper.
Ooh.
And it's 1960. I think it's 1960. And it's kind of like that other movie I told Kevin about not too long ago. It's basically 1960s, but it's the spicy edition, so there is nudity in this movie.
Okay.
You have to read the movie, but honestly, I just watched this not too long ago, and I'm like, I love the ending of this movie. You know, it's 1800s. It's Jack the Ripper. They're trying to figure out who Jack the Ripper is, and when you get to the ending, you're like, okay, and what happens is just awesome.
One thing I wanted to bring up, because it was with a recent guest who was talking about a series that was getting released. Tale of Tales. It was one that he was talking about. He just had a post about it on his social media. So it's I don't know the date. It's going to be coming to Tubi. So I mean, it's pretty cool that people are going to start doing series on Tubi as well. Because for those who don't know about Tubi, you're crazy. But lots of really cool stuff that you can see for free. It's ad support.
For a free platform, it's
a lot of really
delivers more and more every week.
Yep. I stumbled across Tubi like about a year and a half ago, and I posted on Facebook. I'm like, oh my God, Tubi is the greatest thing. And my buddy that I'd known for years from YouTube, Midnight Crawler, he goes, don't go telling everybody about that. That's a great secret to have. And I'm like, dude.
But it's also, you want people to know about it. So
Well,
there's a bunch of movies that I've wanted to see and that I want to tell people, hey, you should check this out. And it's like, it's there now. So go check it out.
He's just giving me crap because I'm like, really? You didn't want me to tell anyone? He's like, no, that's cool. Everyone knows about Tubi. I'm just,
There's a bunch of Ellie Church stuff up there. There's like F in the Woods is up there. And like, I don't know. There's stuff that I like, hey, I want to tell. That's
some good independent stuff. Like,
so did you guys see that? Headless and stuff like that. Headless is based off of a short from Found.
Right.
Found, he's on Shudder now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Dude, I have a copy of Found downstairs that I bought from that video place that went out of business like 2 years ago in January.
Mm-hmm.
I've still not watched it. It's still in its cellophane. I get that, but it's coming up. It's like it's coming down the pipe. It's like within the next 5 movies, I will be watching Found.
Yeah. So that's actually one that I had heard people talking about it. Didn't know anything about it. This is before we had anyone from the movie on, and I found it in the bargain bin at Walmart, mixed in with a bunch of kids.
I remember that. Yeah.
It's the same way I found The Bad Lieutenant on Blu-ray.
Right, with Harvey Keitel.
Yeah, Bad Lieutenant was again in like a bin with a bunch of kid stuff at it was at like a Dollar General or something.
Nice.
And I found Bad Lieutenant. I was like, what? I'm like, and it was the unrated Blu-ray. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm buying it. just because not because I don't want some kid to just randomly buy it and be like, oh, show me what you do with your mouth. That's a great movie, by the way. If anyone out there hasn't seen Harvey Keitel, The Bad Lieutenant, you need to.
The remake was horrible.
I didn't even bother. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, there was a remake, and then there was also a sequel.
Well, it was the one with Nicolas Cage that I watched.
That was the sequel.
Was it? Okay, because that one I watched and I was like, no. Not at all.
No, you're right about that.
No.
What is this?
This guy should be in more movies where he doesn't talk. Anyways, it's about that time, guys. So we got to wrap things up.
Do it.
So let's run down the list of people. So Angel.
Hi, what's up, guys?
Where can people find you, Angel?
You can check me, Mandy, and Ryan out at That Strange Show. We just put up an episode about a week ago covering the Creep Show TV series. Yeah, buddy. We ran through the whole season, and I think our next episode coming up is going to be about Jacob's wife. So be on the lookout for that. And then hanging out here sometimes.
Word up, Wolfie.
You can find me on YouTube, The 13th Wolfman, Twitter at The 13th Wolfman, Tumblr, 13th Wolfman, The Proud, doing the Wicked Horror Reviews with Kev, doing the Wicked Horror Show twice a month. And always check out my YouTube because I'm throwing something new up all the time. And coming up is going to be the VS stuff, so definitely check that out. What about you, Tony?
You can find me at Tony Has 9 Fingers on YouTube, where I do movie reviews, unboxings, whatever have you, anything movie related. Twitter, Tony Has 9 Fingers. TikTok, where I do dances and everything, all the TikTok trends. According to Kev, Tony Has 9 Fingers.
Is that like one series?
I just got Tony twerking out of my head, and now he's bringing.
I'm getting ripped tonight.
One of the things he bought like it was like a monthly subscription to yoga pants.
The TikTok yogas.
Yeah, I got those.
I look juicy.
Tony's wearing all juicy.
Tony's Movies on Instagram, where I show off the movies behind me, and of course here most Tuesdays on the Wicked Horror Show. Kevin,
Yeah. A Knuckle on Instagram. Besides doing the reviews with Wolfie and this show, I'm also part of Black and White Fright and Secret Underground Hideout, all of which are on the Dorkening Podcast Network. And if just a reminder, if you're friends with Leo, go wish him well.
Send him some butt pictures.
Yeah, send him some Tony twerking videos.
Yeah,
what have you.
The younger pants.
Just a little heads up. There's going to be at least 1 week this month that we may not have a show. I'm going to see if I can make it work, but we'll see. And right now, it's kind of up in the air as far as a guest for next week. So we'll get back to you on that. And thanks for listening. Thanks, Sergio, as always, for being in the chat room, and everyone else, Max and William, who said food and dessert.
Yeah, I saw Daniel John in there.
Yeah. Matthew Fisher was in there. So, yeah, thanks, everyone. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
And
Brother Max.
Yep. Thanks again, and have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.